But
yeah, we can't shy away from it. Well, I didn't get the greatest angle to see it, mate. A boy be big Boron, and Murphy missed control. It spun to their player who was making strides at the edge of the box and then caught with McCrory. I don't know if it was Goldson that was coming across, so I'd like to see it again, maybe see it later on in the day, but red card. But the question you're asking, if, okay, goal scoring opportunity, about to shoot, how was the boy no sent off at Pittodrie last week?
It's a fair call, my friend. It's a fair call. I would, I didn't see many different, to me it was a red card by the rules of the game, and in some ways you can't help say it might be a little bit harsh, but that might be seen a bit through blue tinted glasses. I say with regards ball, if one's a red card, so's the other one. For me, I don't see how you can say that one is and one isn't.
That's what the discussion will be about. That not so much. I don't know if we're arguing about McCrory's red card.
I guess that's the Bridgeman coming in, is it?
No, I don't think so. Hello, caller.
Hello.
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 How we doing?
Hello. Oh.
Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Who's calling?
It's Patch.
How we doing, Patch? All right, mate?
All right, mate. How we doing?
All right, what's your thoughts, mate? I take it you're in the house.
Well,
Hear it.
I can't hear a fucking thing. Hello.
Oh, we seem to have lost Padge there. I don't know what happened there, Blue Shadow. I think he's in the house. You can hear all the records playing in the background.
I thought that was the kids, maybe,
Aye. He'll have the kids bouncing. He can't hear us. So that'll be the big talking point if people want to join us. It's 0141 356 1972. Or join us at rangersradio.online. We've brought into the call by Old School Blue. But we'll see where it takes us. But look, up until the sending off, I thought we were in complete control. Some nice stuff. Mirren midfield didn't make a lot of chances, Old School, but we're working them really hard and breaking them down. Morelos closed them down for a goal, broke to Murphy. He knocked it back to Morelos. Morelos sort of scuffed his shot, but went in, didn't matter, 1-0. Then a good goal with free kick, great delivery, good header by Goldson, and then 2-0. And you're thinking, oh, this could be Mac, could be right. That's what we're thinking at that time, Blue Shadow.
I thought, oh my, that's Matt 2 in already. I thought we were going to get more than that. And it's the same, perhaps not as many as Mac was calling, but I thought we'd get a good few. But I say the old red card put a bit of a kibosh on that. Apart from the one, Goldson again, good delivery, good strength at the near post, and hit the bottom of the other post. So. Unfortunately, nobody backing that one up and getting us the third one. But as I say, for the first header from Goldson, fantastic strength at the near post. He was against two of them, and he'd had the two of them and put it into the top corner.
It comes to the delivery. Talking about good delivery, we've been joined by Cushy Number. How are we doing, Cushy?
Hi guys, how are we?
All right, mate. Give your thoughts, mate.
Another good, solid performance from us. I think it's disappointing with the red card because I don't really think we've seen this Rangers team in full floor against Scottish opposition so far because of the two red cards.
40 minutes in two games with 11 men on the pitch.
It's quite unbelievable, But I've not got any complaints. I think of the red card today. I think I think if you go to ground like that, and then you're always giving the ref a decision to make, and they seem very quick with their cards. I don't really have any complaint with it. I think the boy McCrory maybe just has to be a little bit cuter in those type of situations, and think that we are up in the game, we're 2-0 up, and do we really need to give the ref that kind of decision to make to send them off at that stage? Because even if he lets the boy go through and the boy scores, we're 2-1, we've still got 11 men, and I think that would have been an absolute canter with us 11 men, even if someone had scored at that point. So, it's disappointing. Again, it's another thing that Ross McCrory, I think, it's a bit. He seems to. He's been given another chance with Gerrard today, and he's kind of blown it again. I think, and I just wonder how long that's going to last with us.
The actual incident, that was miscontrol, if I remember right, by Jamie Murphy. It caused the whole, maybe not the greatest.
I think it was
pass.
Yeah, I think it was a really poor pass in for Barisic.
Miscontrol by Jamie.
Jamie miscontrolled it, and then Ross McCrory maybe feels as if he's got to do something to try and tidy it up. I think it's just a little bit of, he is young, and he maybe just feels he's got to try and get a tackle on at that stage. Maybe an older head would just have tried to keep in his feet, and try and see what the Submarine player does with the ball rather than us just bring him down.
He's still got to make his touch. He's still got
to do it. He's still got it all to do. Absolutely, he's got to make a touch. He's got to take it in. He's got to have composure in front of goal, and he's got to beat Alan McGregor. Every single one of those things has got to come together for it to be a goal. And Val and Ross just going to ground and making up everybody's mind for them.
Before that, Cushy?
I thought we looked a far better team. I thought we just clicked into gear very, very quickly. We looked, someone didn't look in the game. I said before, I thought they'd be a tidy team, but I thought we were a level above them. And I felt with 11 men, even with 11 men, that was absolutely the case. I think these guys in the pre-match show were talking about 4, 5, 6-0 in some cases. When the second goal went in, I thought that's absolutely on the cards at this stage. I thought this was looking like a 5-0 canter. Until the red card. So Barisic, good debut without being absolutely fantastic. But great delivery for the second goal. He looks a very, very solid signing for us with an absolute wonder left foot. So I think people like Katic and Goldson, when that ball's coming in from the right hand side and he's got a left foot on it, that is, I think we'll score a lot of goals from Barisic's delivery and those guys getting an end of it.
We kept the ball really well in the opening. They had them chasing shadows. The first 5 minutes, I don't think they touched the ball.
No, I think we kept the ball well, actually. Generally speaking, for the 90 minutes, even down to 10 men, I thought we kept the ball as best that we could, I think, in many, many situations. Occasionally we let it go, but that's to be expected. But yeah, I thought we clicked into gear really, really quickly. The 2 goals, 2 very well taken goals. I thought Alfredo's finish was a really, really nice finish, just keeping it low, and almost, it didn't hit it into the ground, but he's just keeping it low and stroking it into the ground, giving the someone keeper absolutely no chance. So he looks like a different player this year, Alfredo Morelos. He's got a smile on his face now when he's playing. You can see him almost laughing off some of the decisions. It's all kind of clicking into place for Morelos, and some of the criticism I think he has had last year. I think if he keeps this form up, that criticism will be a distant memory.
Playing with better players for you, Cushy?
I'm sorry, say that one again.
Playing with better players, that's got to help, eh?
I think he's playing with better players. I think he realises he's not just a one-man band up front now. There's guys that are working their socks off in the middle of that park to work for him. I remember the Celtic game last year where he was chasing shadows when they were keeping the ball around him, and he was just turning around his midfield and saying, where are you? Why aren't you pressing? And that's not happening this year. He's got Koulibaly chasing everybody down. Ajaria's doing it. It's. I think he sees that. I think he sees other players are working their socks off to try and win the ball back and release him in good areas. And I think he's reveling in that.
What about you, Blue, Morales' performance?
Well, the one thing I noticed about the goal more than anything else is that rather than like last season where he was trying to blast everything more or less, certainly at the start of the season he was missing a lot that way. Today he didn't try to absolutely hammer it, as Cushy says. He just seemed to stroke it. It went into the ground and bounced in it. That's a very difficult ball for any goalkeeper to try and save. So whether that's just a level of the confidence, his confidence level is getting greater, which can certainly be the case. You're trying too hard and you just put a bit too much on it, and that just makes matters worse. So that that's great for me. As long as it continue, we just need to to get a few more people in the box, especially with that Barisic in. You know, his delivery is fantastic. And as I said before the game, from the left, his delivery from our right-hand side with that left foot, you just, you know, admittedly Goldson put it into the top corner, this one, but you just need to get a glance on it and it's in the net past the keeper.
Or you don't need to touch it, because goalies, sometimes when it's close to the goal, mate, it can end up getting in the goal because they've got a decision to make. You know, it only takes a glance. It's the delivery, it's all about delivery. What about his delivery for right out left when he put in a tremendous cross?
Aye, that one that just went across. I saw that, absolutely fantastic. But the one that nobody got in the end of.
Apart from that, it was.
Aye, it was a great delivery, but you know, this is, as I said, you've got to get players in there. You've got to get people like Murphy or whoever, Murphy was on the left-hand side, and I surprisingly put Kent on the right-hand side, the opposite to the way to which I thought it would be. But he needs to get Kent in attacking that rear post. As I say, I mean, we were always taught if the ball's coming in from the other side, you should be in, as your winger should be attacking the rear post and use somebody else coming into the middle. And you always have the main striker coming across the front.
When you know you're going to get good delivery, because that's a big asset we've got there.
Yeah, I think, as I said, I think he should rev on that. My only kind of slight criticism with Alfredo Morelos at the moment is that when crosses are coming in for the sides, it does tend every single time to go straight in on the keeper, so that a lot of the times that the ball gets delivered, it gets delivered behind him and he's turning round and it's delivered into space, but we have nobody there because he's already made his run, and in the midfield kind of haven't quite caught up yet into that space, almost like about 11, 12 yards out. You know, so either I think he has to delay his run slightly, if the midfield aren't going to be catching him up to kind of to get into that space, or the midfield have to get in there quicker. If he's getting in the keeper and he's taking the defenders in with him, and he's done that so many times, it does leave an awful lot of space there. So, you know, the midfield either have to get into that space and help him, because it'll be an easy goal. Because a lot of the times when you see the deliveries we've had, it's, you know, you're shouting at them, oh, where are we? Where's the midfield? You know, to back it up. You know, it looks as if they'd be stroking it into an empty net because Morelos has taken all the defenders and the goalkeeper with him. You know, so if he's nobody behind him, I think he just needs to delay his one a little bit. But if he has got bodies there, and you know, let him make his run into the front post. But we have to get Jamie Murphy. We have to get the likes of the Arfield when he's playing. Get them in at about 11, 12 yards, because they'll be stroking it into an empty net.
That big lad, Jaria, I mean, look at the height of him. If he could get himself in there, man.
He was unlucky not to score as well today when he cut back inside. I think the defender just sort of took the sting out the shot, and it was an easy save for the goalkeeper. His Camille's goal, what did you make of Big Sadiq, Blue?
It's like a big water buffalo. Well, I know we've got El Buffalo, but he was like a big water buffalo wandering about the pitch today. Didn't he do that? He wasn't great when he came on, but he gave Morelos a rest today. He was a bit all over the place and not quite as impressive as he was last time for me.
He has got some turn of pace when he opens up that stride of his. Cushy, another completely different kind of player for Morelos.
It's completely different, you know. But every time he gets on the ball, I start smiling, and I'm not sure that's a good thing, you know, because you just don't know what he's going to do with it, you know. And I think he needs, to be honest, I felt that he maybe would have started today, to be honest with you, because I felt against St Mirren at Ibrox with the shift that Morelos put in on Thursday. I thought there was a chance that he was maybe going to start today to give him 90 minutes. You know, it wasn't the case. You know, he certainly shows when he comes on a real willingness to get in amongst it, and certainly when he opens those legs up, there's not going to be many defenders in Scotland that are going to be catching him if he's off. You know, but you know, I kind of smile when he's on the ball, because you just don't know what he's going to do with it. And I hope he does kick on. I hope he does get a chance for the start and gets maybe a couple of games where he can show us what he can actually do, because I don't think it's, for what I've seen, it's not for the want of trying for us when he comes on. He certainly doesn't look a lazy forward.
I think as well, I think he needs other players around him, because he's more like the centre forward that takes the ball in and then can lay it off to strikers to finish the chance more than anything else, rather than the ball being played into him with a look at him finishing off the opportunity. So I said, that's just about getting more players around him when he makes those breaks. I mean, the one I always remember against Wigan when he did the one at the end, and who was it, Koulibaly, and there was somebody else breaking their neck trying to get us stay up with him. And although we never converted, the opportunity was there. So we just again, it's just a support issue, and I'm sure Mr. Gerrard and Mr. McAllister will be getting on to that and making sure that's what happens.
Cushy, we never heard from you before the show. What did you make of the team?
I think he's got to move some. He's got to give some players a rest. So we've got to rotate this squad. We've got, if we beat Maribor, we get through in Maribor on Thursday, and if by chance we beat the next group, we're into the group. We're into the group stages of Europa. Then there's going to be games coming. Thick and fast. So I think you've got to rotate the squad. I think Steven Gerrard has already shown he's quite happy to do that. And he said in his press conferences that he trusts his squad, and that is absolutely reflected in the teams that he puts out. So he doesn't just say that and then pick the same 11 every single week. He obviously does trust his squad. So, and I think we've got to do that. We can't go with the same 11 players throughout the season and expect them to keep up a level of performance. We've got to rotate it. But it's some of the shifts that some of these players are putting in, I think, are amazing. They're working really hard. Morelos, Koulibaly, Ajaria, these boys are working their socks off. And he's going to have to rotate them though, because I don't think we can expect that level, particularly down to 10 men in 2 games. That I think that will tell on your legs after a little while, particularly if you're playing Sunday, Thursday, Saturday, Thursday type of thing. So
well, that's as I said, that's 2 games, and I think we've had about 43 minutes. We've had 11 men on the park.
And the good thing about it is we've not looked out of place. We're down to 10 men. We've looked a better team in both those games. So we're sitting third in the league on goal difference, and effectively we've hardly played with 11 men this season. And I think that's reflective of the organisation, the fitness level of these boys. Certainly you can't. One criticism that cannot be levelled at this team is that they're not fit.
Fair comment. On you go, boy.
We could do. I'm starting to get the impression we could really do with Rossiter and Dorrans getting fit. Just to give us, if we're going to have this level of commitment and effort from our players, we're going to need every player that we've got. And I think we need another striker, definitely. Do you, boys?
And a centre half for me personally, unless Big Boran can play in there, yeah.
Well, apart Boran can play there, and so can Flanagan, allegedly.
Where he's got that. I mean, he's no scared of going for a header, but where he's got that physicality, I mean, that's what's been a big plus to our team. Big Katic and Golston in there, they've been fantastic. Before I go to Cushy with that, if people want to join us, it's 0141 356 1972, or join us at rangersradio.online on Skype, where you'll be brought in the call by Old School Boy. Cushy, Golston and Katic, good finds.
Of all the good signings that we've made this summer, Golston is the best one. I think he's been absolutely top notch. I think he's easily the best defender that I've seen on the park when we've played Aberdeen and we've played St Mirren. He's head and shoulders above some of these guys. And don't get me wrong, Steven Gerrard's made some really, really good signings, but I think Golston is absolutely the best one. That triangle that we've got, McGregor, Katic and Golston will win us a lot of games this year, just by themselves. But Golston himself just makes it look easy, to be honest with you. He looks as if he's strolling through games, and that's when we're down to 10 men. It really does look as if he's strolling through games. So fantastic signing for me. That's not to take anything away from Katic. I think he's been an excellent signing for us. Goes about his business very quietly. But the two of my excellent signings with Golston for me has been a fantastic signing.
And then we have a wee competition. See who gets the most goals, boys, Shadow, eh?
Oh, I think so. I mean, especially if you're getting delivery from both flanks now from from Barisic and the young lad Kent. I think that we've got delivery on both sides now. So certainly from set pieces, you could see that pair getting at least possibly 10 each, which is certainly is very helpful when it comes to the end of the season. That'll get you a few points. There's no doubt about it. As I say, with me, as I said, when you're talking about that, Cushy was talking about that triangle, I thought he was going to say Goldson, the big Croatian lad, and Koulibaly, because the three of them seem to be setting up a nice understanding between the three of them. That's it. When he's going to go into that, he's going to talk about the diamond, mate. You see what I've done there? 2 triangles. Yeah. Yes. Sorry, yes. Sorry, mate. Sorry. It's all right. I was having a tumbleweed moment there. No. That was just crap. Koulibaly, bizarrely, just played in the periphery for me in the first half when we were playing well. Just kept it simple, kept it moving. But as the game went on, the last 20 minutes, he just seemed to come alive. Cushy. Yeah, his levels of fitness and stamina, and Koulibaly's just seemed bottomless, frankly speaking. That run he went on at the end of the game, I think he beat 4 or 5 players from St Mirren, just left him standing. And it was only it then beat the last guy and got hacked down on the side of the park. And they have that. He was leaving these guys. He was just leaving these guys behind. And it really is. It's quite phenomenal, given because the St Mirren player that eventually hacked him was really blowing hard when he had he had the hands and the knees after it. When he was getting his yellow card. And so he was struggling, and he had only really got involved with Koulibaly right at the end of it after Koulibaly had already beat 4 guys. So the levels of stamina from this boy's great. And Ajari as well I don't think he's a lazy player. I think he tends to dwell on the ball a little bit longer than Koulibaly. But he's certainly not a lazy player. And the ground that he covered today was phenomenal. And it's something you've got to do it with 10 men, but being asked to do it and actually going out and doing it are 2 different things. And these boys haven't let us down. That Ajari certainly got stuck in the day, didn't he? I was well impressed. I did notice that when we went down to 10 men, he dropped a bit deeper. An unusual role for him to play, but he really got stuck in and put a good few tackles in. Good on the guy. He's certainly a player that's coming on leaps and bounds for me. Is he about 6'2"? Just going to say, people, there's a couple of people trying to join the show. You're phoning all calls. Can you please phone Rangers Radio? Know the old call. Ajira, he's got something about him. He's got once we get in, we need passes to be made. I think he's got there's something there that we can work on. And what's really pleased me is the fact that Jack and Arfield aren't playing, and we still don't want a better place up. We've been joined by one of the callers. Let's see who it is. All right. We've got 2. Right, 2. I'll go to take Craig first. Hello, how you doing?
Hello.
Hello. Craig.
Hello.
Hello. You hear us? Oh, same problem again. I'll leave that to the old school to sort it. The fact that Jack and Arfield weren't playing is a big positive for us, Blue Shadow. I'm quite a big fan of both those players, as you're well aware. I mean, Jack started really well last season, and then he got into a bit of disciplinary trouble, a lot of it unjustified, as we all know, and then he got injured by that filthy tackle from when he playing against Motherwell, and then he seemed to be in and out, floating in and out of the team. But he started again this season, absolutely, and come on, he wasn't quite himself at the start. The first couple of games he played this season, but his last few games he's come on to a huge game, and I think he's going to be a massive player for us on the right side of that midfield. And with our, do you want to take that? I think this is the bridge.
Hi, pal, how you doing?
All right, mate.
How you doing, boys? All right, everything great?
Well, I'm quite happy with the 3 points, Bridge. You move on. We played really well up to the second half. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I played well. We played well even after the sending off. We probably had to give away a lot of space and did a lot of running. So the boys proved how good they are and how fit they are, which is marvellous to see. Listen, the main thing I wanted to know is that I never saw it correctly because it was straight in front of us. The tackle for the sending off, we in the Colin rear there, we were screaming that it was a disgraceful because we thought that McCrory took the ball. So maybe you could confirm or deny.
I can deny that he took the ball, Bridge.
Right, okay, he never got the ball, so he took him on.
He caught the boy in the ankles. I'll put it to you this way: if it happened at the other end of the park, we'd have been looking for a sending off. Is that fair?
No, I'm happy.
Aye, that's it. For me, by the rules of the game, Bridge, it was a wee bit harsh, but it was a red card.
Right, that's fine, but that just proves what we've been saying for a wee while. That proves what we've been saying. Oh, sorry.
Right, Bridge, you go on mute. We've got another caller coming in. How we doing, caller? Oh, same again. Can't hear us.
Yeah, we've got Bridge and we've got another 3 Ox.
Aye, but the two of them dropped to it again because I don't think they can hear us for some reason, mate. Are you still there, Bridge?
Uh-huh.
Aye, look, the point that we were making on the show was, look, if that is a red card, you accept it's a red card. How does Ball no get sent off last week?
You're absolutely right. It doesn't really matter what we say now. The line, and I think 5 minutes ago, that young boy came in and he actually took out Koulibaly from behind, in front of the dugouts nearly. I can't believe that was not a red card. I'm sorry.
It wasn't.
However,
when you see it again, it was a red card. Paul, we've been joined with somebody from the moon. Hello.
Hello.
Who's calling? You got a lot of interference there, mate. What's your name?
Willie.
Turn your sound down a bit. You're too loud.
How's it going?
All right. Who's calling?
It's Willie.
Willie, how we doing, Willie?
No bad, man.
What's your thoughts?
Great. It was a great game for being 10 men, right?
Aye.
I mean, what can you say? I thought the new Croatian boy on the left back looked awful like Arthur Newman with like a 6'1" figure and strength, right?
Was it you who posted that in the lobby earlier on?
The prices, aye.
Aye. Where are you? Where are you based, mate?
Canada.
Aye, right.
Ontario.
Okay, but are you originally from there? Because there's a twang in your accent.
Yeah, believe it or not, I am. Believe it or not.
Right. Okay.
I was just brought up, Scottish.
Right, okay.
Like I said, right. So I was brought up with all Scottish people, so that's how I talk about it.
Brilliant. So, what's your overall thoughts of how the game went and how the team are progressing, Wally?
I think it's absolutely brilliant. Tell you the truth, I think Gerrard's came in and done the business. Tell you the truth, brought how he plays to our game. You know what I mean? Confidence. You know, the swagger, the whole bit. You know what I mean? So
and fit. The team are fit, eh?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even guys we're signing are already fit before they even came. You know what I mean? So guys like the big Croatian there, like if you seen him with his shirt off against Rangers, there he's like ripped, dude, no belief, right?
I think he's based his body on Bridge, man.
Fair enough.
How long have you been listening to the show? How did you find us, mate?
You know, a long while, but I was pissed off last year, so I didn't do a lot.
We didn't have a lot to celebrate, did we?
No, not really.
No.
So.
We've also been joined by another caller. Craig, are you with us? No, he is not. Well, who was your man in the match today?
I would say Goldson, for sure.
I don't think anybody would argue with that. Would they, Bully Shadow?
No, I couldn't argue that. He got the captain's armband and he put in a captain's performance for me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good old lad. He said he's steadily been improving since over the first few games of the season, and I think that just today reached another pinnacle. So if he can maintain that going forward, I think that's going to be great for the club.
Cushy, comfortable with that? Man of the match, Goldson.
Oh yeah, I thought it was. As I said earlier, I thought he's a head and shoulders above some of the signs that we've made. He just cruised the game, even against 11 men. And he just looks the part. I always worry a little bit when these guys come in and they show how good they are. Because we want to hold on to that. This is exactly the quality of player that we want to hold on to. So I'm glad to see that the English transfer market has closed, and I'd like to try and certainly hold on to the likes of Katic and Goldson as long as we possibly can, because I would like to see those boys be the mainstay of our defence for years to come, and that we don't just submit to funny money bids that may come in January or something like that when people are desperate for defenders. All
right, we've been joined by one of Rangers Radio's celebrities. How we doing, Ricky?
I'm good. How you doing?
All right, mate. Long time no here, mate. Yeah, you've been a professional broadcaster now.
Oh no, I've quit that. I've quit that role.
Oh, now you're coming back to us.
No, I'm back to my day job now.
All right, mate. Give us your thoughts on the day's game and obviously how the team's gone, Ricky. Good to hear from you, mate.
I know, it's good to listen to you. One thing I think is, again, a bad decision for the ref has caused the actual game to be quite a dull game, if you know what I mean. The other week, we got a player sent off, Morelos, which was a stupid red card. And then we got this red card again today, and I just thought it spoiled the game, if you know.
Oh, the game just died. It died as a spectacle. I mean, for us, it's particularly as the home support, it died as a spectacle because obviously they were happy to sit back and take the sting out, and we were happy just to let them play in front of us, and it wasn't great to watch, but it had been up to that point.
I was ready to put on a bet for about 4 or 5 goals just before the sending off, and then it's just killed the game. And I do now feel I've now heard that the referee was actually an ex-St Mirren player as well. I don't know if that's true. You heard that? Is it Don Robertson or something?
That's true.
I'm not saying that he's not played a fair game, but I'm sure there was a couple of guys in front of McCrory. So why did he get a red card?
Whether the angle you've seen it. I'm not sure if Colston was close enough to influence it. What I will say, Ricky, is if it happened the other end of the park, I'd have been looking for a sending off. But before, when we started the show, what we said, if that's a red card, how come Dominic Ball doesn't get sent off last week?
That's it. I know. And I think Gerrard, I've not heard his interview after it yet, but I'd be interested to hear what he's saying, because he's already thinking that Rangers have had a tough time in the past with referees, so it'd be interesting to see what he thinks after that game.
Blue Shadow?
I would have to agree. I would have to agree, Walkster, on that one. I thought it was a red card as well. Regrettably, a bit harsh, but by the rules of the game, a red card. And it was the one after. I said to Ox just before the show. It's the one after that really annoyed me, where Barisic, in his first poor tackle of the game, he gets booked, and God knows how many of them had put in tackles that were twice as bad as that, at least. That's been, seriously, not overdoing it at all. They had at least half a dozen tackles that should have gone in the book if you're going to put Barisic in the book for me.
And they never get anything. That's.
No, I mean, the referee wasn't great, but I don't know, Ricky. I think when you maybe see it again, you might think it was a bit rash and maybe a red card.
Was it? Right? I'll need to watch it again, because just when I was watching it
live,
it looked a bit. After I thought it was a couple of players in front of McCrory, so I thought if anything, it'd been a yellow card.
Where Goldston was getting across, he was coming across. I've only seen that again. Maybe he could have influenced it. I don't know, but. It was a defensive blunder, and it wasn't just McCrory's fault. There was Boran and Murphy were involved in it with the passing and control, and then McCrory got caught and he took one for the team, I think, which maybe in hindsight he'd have been better known.
What do you think about Taverneau starting? Do you think they're saving him for Europe, or do you think maybe somebody's interested in him?
I'll give that one to Cushy.
I think if Taverneau get injured today, we would be going into Thursday with no right back and no left back because Flanagan's already booked. So I think the Taft situation was simply keeping him at the side so that so that we can give him at least 3 out of what 4 regular defenders on Thursday. I think that's it. I didn't read too much into it at the time, and certainly haven't read into it at the moment. So I think it was brought on just for fresh legs because we were down to 10 men. So, but I think it was just it's just a little bit precautionary so that we've got at least 3/4 of our standard defence on Thursday.
What do you think about Lafferty as well for Rangers? I'm hearing rumours that he might be signing Monday.
That was a buzz last night, mate. That was a buzz that he was saying cheerio to the Hearts fans, and he was going to be signing on Monday. And obviously there was other rumours that Lee Wallace was through the Hearts training ground, which is correct. But he was through their coaching. The team that he coaches, he was through their coaching. They were playing a game through there, so people putting 2 and 2 together. But
would you want Lafferty back? I think
if the money's right, I think he would improve our squad. Yeah, and gives us other options, and he's got physicality and experience to help us win more points in the league.
Well, he's shown he can score against teams like Celtic. I mean, that was some goal he scored yesterday.
I would like to say I never saw it, but I watched it about 20 times. Wally, what was your thoughts?
On what, the Lafferty thing?
Yeah.
You know what? I've never been a big fan of Lafferty, to tell you the truth. But can he score goals in important games? Aye, of course. So for that reason, if it's a good price, for sure. It'd be good when these guys need rest. If we keep going in Euro, then we need other players there to do the job as well. Huh?
So, it's quite funny. We're sitting listening to the show, and we're hearing. What's the boy for Canada again? I can't use his name.
Wally, his name is.
Wally. It's brilliant because every so often there's a wee bit of Scottish goes in there.
A bit of twang, mate. A bit of twang.
That's it. It's excellent. It's really good to hear. Listen, I'm going to need to go anyway, but it's great to hear you again.
Ricky.
All right.
Don't be a stranger, mate.
I'll definitely jump on soon that night. Take care,
Cheers,
okay?
Mate. Bye.
Good one.
What's your thoughts on Lafferty Cushy?
Yeah, I think it'd be a good, very decent signing for us, unless, as long as we're not held to ransom by Hearts, I think it'll be a good signing for us. He does. He's a more mature person than he was when he left us. I think he's a better player who kind of knows what he can and cannot do anymore. So yeah, I think it'd be a decent signing for us. I think does he improve the team? I think I'm not sure he's better than Morelos at this stage, but he certainly gives us more options and a more quality to the squad. But I don't see him as a replacement to Morelos. But I do see him as a very decent stand-in. Or when Morelos has got booked a red card or he is injured or whatever, But I certainly wouldn't be starting Lafferty over anybody. But I think he'd be a good squad signing for us. I've
been asked by Craig Bell, who's having problems getting into the show, but he's PM'd me and asked me, would you sign Koulibaly if the option's there ASAP, Blue
Oh, if we can get Koulibaly at anything like price we can afford, I'd have his name on the dotted line in an instant. I'm sure everybody's gathered that they're certainly a fan, and we've been looking for a quality defensive midfielder since 6 years ago. And there was all these talk at we were going to bring in all these different defensive midfielders, and we never found one. This is the first one we found, and boy, is he quality. And if we don't get his name on a contract soon, I think somebody else will.
Well, he's definitely a different class for Ian Black. Wally, what's your views on Koulibaly?
Like I said, we never found a defensive midfielder.
My views are that... you know what? If I won the lottery tomorrow, I'd give the money to Rangers to buy him tomorrow.
That's very nice of you, mate. Don't forget me.
No bother, I won't.
Fair comment, mate. I think that says it all. I think he's becoming a crowd's favourite. Cushy, yeah?
Oh yeah, I would sign him. I would sign him in a heartbeat. It's if I was Gerrard, I'd put a gun to his head and make him an offer we couldn't refuse until he did sign. Horse's head in the bed in the full Monty. So definitely, I think he's a cracking player. We should really, the club should be pulling out all the stops to try and get that boy to sign.
We've got every chance, haven't we? I mean, Angers isn't a big club.
Angers, I like what you've done there. I see what you've done there. You're right, mate. But we don't know what the deal is when he signed. You never know the
2021 is, well, I know he's signed till 2021 for them. So he's got a good while left of his contract, but still at the same thing. Angers ain't going to be competing in Europe anytime soon, I don't think so, and that's another thing that puts it in our benefit in our favour in order to get him to sign.
Aye, fair comment.
And it's all just to come in there. It's all about player power, I think, nowadays. So if that boy wants to move to us, then I think that will happen. As long as we come to agreement in terms of the money. But it's all about the player, I think, with these loan deals. And once it ends, if the boy wants to come to us, and we can match or come to an arrangement with the fee with Angers, then I think he'll be a Rangers player.
Mark's going to say something there.
Yeah, of course you can. Well, carry on, mate.
Yeah. With Koulibaly too, right? From what I believe, he was in their lineup last year, right, for the French team. So, I mean, I can't see them loaning as a player that we have not got an option that we can buy him. I just can't see it.
I get where you're coming from there, mate. There's pluses and minuses on the loan deal, isn't there? If you get somebody that you fancy, if you've done it, you maybe got the option then to buy them first refusal. But if it doesn't work out, you can always send them back,
Yeah, for sure. But you know what I'm saying. But I mean, this guy was Koulibaly was in their starting lineup last year.
Aye.
Right. So you don't loan out your starting lineup guy. We wouldn't loan out we wouldn't loan out Tavernier to somebody. Just
no, but I would loan back Russell Martin.
Well, different times though.
Aye, different times. What about the transformation and the transformation and the support, the atmosphere, the positivity? That was a Sunday afternoon. Glasgow's a bit gridlocked because of the events that's happening. Sellout, no seats, people clamouring for tickets. Fantastic.
Yeah, I think that there's a really good buzz about Rangers at the moment. And that's definitely down to Gerrard coming in and the signings he's made and the way that we're playing their football and the heart that the players are putting into what they're doing on the park. And that, there's nothing worse for fans than seeing players just, being a bit lukewarm in terms of their approach. They love seeing players giving it 100%, even if they're not the best players in the world. They still want to see their players giving everything for the badge when they're on there. And I think that, that feel-good factor is definitely, you can feel it in the stands when you're there, and the fans are feeling it, and I think that can build a lot of momentum for the team, because we're going to Ibrox now with a feel-good factor. Sometimes it's a bit of apprehension. Last season when we were going to Ibrox, because our home record was dreadful and has been dreadful over the last couple of years, but we feel now as if, looking at today, that we're very unlikely to get beat at Ibrox, and that transformation has only happened very recently, and we're only 2 games into the season, but you still feel as if, looking at that St Mirren team, I didn't think, unless we were going to go down to 9 men, and get someone else sent off, that they were ever going to get back in that game, there's just a really good feel-good factor about the whole thing about the moment, and it's not. I don't think that'll be temporary. I don't feel we've had a lot of false dawns recently. I just don't get that feeling with Gerrard in this setup.
Blue Shadow.
I would have to agree with Cushy. I don't think we're at any point during that game where really felt like we were in danger of conceding or being put under any significant pressure, even with down to 10 men. There was only one team in it, and basically, I mean, I've always pretty much already moved on to Thursday, so can he wait for the second round of the Europa tie against Maribor? And I honestly think we can do them away as well. So it's just breeding confidence all over the place. And if you can get into a run, it makes it so much easier to keep it going. It will come to an end at some point, but long may it continue.
And the starting 11, you could have Tab back in, Jack back in, Arfield back in.
I think Arfield will be back for Thursday. I don't know about I don't know about Jack.
Well, they intimated on the commentary that they thought he was maybe getting ready to come back. Yeah,
Right.
Can Diaz almost appear again?
Oh, absolutely.
So your team is nearly 50% different from what the outfield players, and this is 2 players for each position, competition for places, Willie. It's a great thing in such a short time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you can put almost 2 different teams for the SPL to Europe, that's a big thing. I mean, that's what big clubs do. They do the same thing.
It could be interesting for Thursday night, though. I mean, who do you play on the left-hand side? Because Murphy sort of balances Barisic quite well, because, Murphy cuts inside, and that leaves room outside for Barisic to go do the outsides. I don't know if he'll play Kent there and Candias on the left, or whether he'll play Murphy.
Kent's got more pace than Murphy, where he's a better football player. I don't know, personally. Cushy?
I think just come back to the point with regards to the midfield that we're changing 50% of it. Yeah, we're changing 50% of it. We're not making it any worse. Far from it. We're bringing in guys
making it better.
We're bringing in guys that we know they can actually do a job for us. And we've not had that for a long time either. So all to the good. I think these options that Gerrard has got, it's a good position for your manager to be in, because he knows now that he's got various, as you just touched on, he's got various different players. He could probably play a number of different formations now with the squad that he's actually got. So he can afford to rotate these guys and put out the best team that he feels is going to get the result on that day, while hopefully, keeping the guys' legs as fresh as he possibly can. Yeah, it's changed days, because some of the midfield formations we used to see in some of the benches that I've seen recently, you were looking at it with almost through the fingers of your hands, thinking, "Oh God, what's going to happen here?" But that's not the case anymore. We're talking about what's the best team we can put out there, rather than that's a terrible looking midfield. It's not going to do anything, So and certainly one way that continue.
In the stands today, Cushy, what was the feeling when they seen the team? Because we were quite surprised. Obviously, Tav not playing.
I was about. The way I seen it on the lineup. I think I was trying to kind of transpose players into the various different positions. And we just kind of because the way they'd listed it, it didn't really, it didn't look right to me the way they'd actually listed it. We Kent almost, I think, was second last in the list. So I was trying to look at it and think, right, actually, what formation is this? And maybe that's Gerrard doing that deliberately, to keep Alan Stubbs guessing in terms of who's playing where. It didn't, as I said, it didn't surprise me that we're rotating players because of the number of games we've got and the fact that we're down to 10 men in the last game in a tough game at Maribor. So it's just a case of the fans kind of, I think, realising that we're not going to see the same 11 every week. That we have got to rotate it to keep the fresh legs and just get behind the team. As I say, the team is certainly not for being rotated. It's not getting any worse, and I think that's probably the main point.
And the last point in the evening, very, very young team. You take McGregor and Murphy out that team, you get very young players.
They're young, but we've got a really big team. We've got an athletic team, and we've got an enthusiastic team, that's what youth brings you. That enthusiasm, that lack of fear when they're playing in front of a full house. That's what young players bring you. They might not be the finished article, but they're certainly bringing a lot of enthusiasm and athleticism, and we've certainly lacked that. So you know, and these players will only get better. They will grow into the games. They will grow into being Rangers players. The future's very bright, I think, for us.
Shadow.
I think there was a young team, and I think it showed. The only time I've seen it show is when we lost that goal late on in the first half against Maribor, and they lost their way a little bit then. But that's the only time I've ever seen them lose their way at all. I think there's a lot of young players in there, yes, but I think there's a lot of young players who are quite actually switched on, and certainly in football terms, and they're quite quick of the brain. I mean, let's face it. You take Windus out of the lineup, it's got to put the average IQ up by 10 points.
And the last point of the evening to Wally.
Yeah, I mean, they're young. They make mistakes. I mean, at points, but I mean, I don't know how much you guys see other sports in North America here. I mean, that's how teams go here, from hockey to NFL and stuff like that. It's all young guys, and that's how the world of sports is moving like that. I mean, even look at France. I mean, France has got a lot of young guys like Mbappe and stuff who was brilliant at 18. So this is the way the world's moving in this stuff. And I think, you know, you got to give them the chance. I mean, they're going to make mistakes, but you know what? Hopefully they make 10 brilliant plays instead of 10 mistakes and one good play.
Well, we've reached that time of the evening. Can I just thank Cushy, Wally, Billy Shadow, Padge and Bridgeman, Craig Bell, who tried to join us, and Ricky Neal for taking the time to join Rangers Radio. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 9 and 11 talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, old school boy.
Davy Whitey manages the best team in the land. Davy Whitey manages the best team in the land. Davy Whitey manages the best team in the land, and the Jazz go marching on. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers, and the Jazz go marching on. John Greggy is their captain, courageous, bold and true. He just loves to play for the boys in Royal Blue. John Greggy is our captain, courageous, bold and true, and the Jazz go marching on. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers, and the Jazz go marching on. Ibrox is their home, that's why I'm mighty proud, and if you come to Ibrox you will see me in the crowd. And when they score a mighty roar, the fans will sing and cheer, and the Jazz go marching on. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. The Jazz go marching on. Glasgow Rangers, glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers, glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers, the Jazz go marching on. Ibrox is their home, that's why I'm mighty proud, and if you come to Ibrox you will see me in the crowd. And when they score a mighty roar, the fans will sing and cheer, and the Jazz go marching on. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers. Glory, glory, Glasgow Rangers, and the Jazz